guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tina, and today we're going to do something I never ever do. I told myself I would never do like a spill the tea, like that type of video. I found myself sort of having to. I don't know how many of you subscribe to subscription boxes out there. I assume quite a few because those tend to be some of my more popular videos when I can get them up quickly. I'm going to do a get ready with me tea time about subscription boxes and all the controversies going on around several of the big ones. I'm not always so good at talking and applying makeup. If you have a subscription box, you may or may not know that right now there's a whole lot of controversy about an item some people got in their BoxyCharm this month. If you belong to BoxyCharm, then you may have gotten this in a subscription box or the Red Riding Hood one. I belong to Boxy Luxe, so I got this one, Briar Rose one. And then there's this moisturizer that was included in this month's box. I don't know if I got it yet because I still haven't got my BoxyCharm. I haven't even got my tracking number. They sent me an email very early in the month saying that something had happened and my box was going to be very late. And for the last couple months, my boxes have been a total mess. Like, it's been one disaster after another. So that's frustrating, and their whole lack of customer service also frustrating. So I am going to be using products, mostly things that I have gotten in sub boxes. We'll talk a little about the items. If you don't get a sub box or you've been on the fence about sub boxes, I wouldn't let this whole thing bother you too much, quite honestly. And I'll talk more about that as we go as well. This is my Smashbox 24 Hour Studio Foundation. I got this as an add-on in Ipsy. It's very, very liquidy, and it dries down very, very fast. So I only do one side of my face at a time. The last several months, like, it sort of started out like a Ciate London highlighter. I think there might have been, a couple of issues before that. There probably were issues with like ingredients being not quite right. I see, online, a lot of people are super pissed off at BoxyCharm about this. Now, I don't blame you for being upset about it. If that bothers you, then okay, I totally get it. Especially since a lot of times they don't really give you a box with information on it in BoxyCharm or Ipsy. And by the way, this is like across all sub boxes this happens, not just BoxyCharm. It's just that BoxyCharm is getting the heat because they're one of the biggest and best known. People are like all over it. And I think one of the issues was that a couple months ago when the Versali highlight came out, when people were trying to sell it on like Mercury and the other sales sites, Versali was going through and marking them all as fraudulent, saying that they weren't real product, which is weird because they're from the Versali brand. Now, one thing you need to be very clear about is that if there were any changes to the ingredients, BoxyCharm didn't make those changes. BoxyCharm can't make those changes. They may not even be aware of those changes. A couple years ago, when I first started with BoxyCharm, we got a Dr. Brandt. I think it was actually one of the first Dr. Brandt items that were in a subscription box. And me and I'm sure lots of other people noticed that it wasn't the right weight. It was off by quite a lot, and it actually ended up being off by half. But in the subscription box, like on the list, it just listed it as being full size. And I actually wrote to BoxyCharm about it at the time because I was like, that's BS. If you're going to give me a product and say it's full size, it needs to be full size. BoxyCharm wrote back and like, what are you talking about? It's full size. What we put on there is what it says. It turns out that that was all on Dr. Brandt, and they sent emails and everything, and Dr. Brandt sent emails. They didn't do anything about it. They just said, oops, kind of thing. And that was that, I guess. They did it. Dr. Brandt pretty much just went, yeah, that's what happened. Oh well. Nothing was given. It wasn't like they give us money or anything. And I kind of don't expect them to. I know some people really get about that. But, we're paying $21 for the box. And that was like a $59 item. And that was one item. Okay, so it was worth $30 instead of $60. And I get that it throws off the total value of the box. I do. But I still feel like I get plenty of value for my money. And most subscription boxes don't give you the value that BoxyCharm does. Most of them are well under $100. Usually about 70, ranging up to about 100, and that's about as good as you get. So the fact that BoxyCharm, is doing these boxes that are worth quite a lot more is pretty impressive to me. Not only that, but they're giving me items that I actually want to try, because I've used Ipsy in all of the services. Next, we're going to talk about Storybook Cosmetics and the whole mess around this. I'm going to use this one, and we're going to go over all that. So these brushes, I have a whole big set of these. These are from Miss Glam. I got them from Ipsy Offers. I love these. They were $15 for the set, and as you can see, it's a nice big set, and Miss Glam brushes are awesome. I really like them. They're super expensive though. So this is the Peter Pan one, and I haven't even used it yet. I'm going to grab Nottingham and just apply it to my lids. When I got Briar Rose in my Boxy Luxe, I fell in love with it. And I wanted these minis. Normally when things like this come out, I just go to BoxyCharm, buy sell trade sites, and buy it off there. When those came out, it must have been in November, on Black Friday, Storybook Cosmetics had these on sale for $15 a piece. I just ordered this one off the site. I got it, stuck it with the other ones I had, and didn't pay much attention to it. Like I said, I haven't even used it yet. I'm gonna take Spindle, it's a kind of pinky color here, put it up in my thing, kind of as a display item. That was why I bought it. I didn't think anything of it. Then it started coming out, people were saying, and there's been a video about how on the back of the palettes that we got BoxyCharm, it says made in PRC. You can see it right there. And that stands for the People's Republic of China. Storybook Cosmetics has always said they are made in the United States, which is a huge deal to some people, which I totally get. It's nice to support jobs and all that. And there's this conversation of text messages going around supposedly between one of the owners and another subscription box about how these are fake palettes essentially. And she used this as an example. She used one of these palettes and said, as you can see on the back, it says People's Republic of China. BoxyCharm just bought the packaging, and then they had all the shadows made in China. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because if the packaging was actually made in the United States, then how come it says made in the People's Republic of China? And how come, if it was only BoxyCharm ones, this one also that came right off their site has that People's Republic of China on it? I have to admit, I got super curious about this. I have these items, and now I want to know. I'm going to use this green. This is Merry Men. And as you can tell, I'm not too concerned about these because I'm using it. My question after watching that video, I went and got my palette and looked at the back of it. If the ones that came in BoxyCharm are in fact fake or duped or whatever the heck you want to call it, then how come the ones off their site say the same exact thing? Apparently, I'm not the only one asking that question. People got a hold of Storybook Cosmetics, and it turns out Storybook Cosmetics is no longer exclusively made in the United States. It looks like the ones that did in the BoxyCharm boxes were some that they had made in China, probably for significantly cheaper, so they actually could make money off of their sale to BoxyCharm, which is not how BoxyCharm is apparently supposed to work. Gosh, that green is gorgeous. I gotta say, if these are dupes or something, they're gorgeous. But I don't think that's the case. I think that the formula is Storybook's formula. They had them made in China and sold them to BoxyCharm. Everybody, like me, was super excited to get them. I love these palettes. I think they're amazing. What I don't like, apparently, Storybook Cosmetics has been lying to their consumers. So if you're not made in America anymore, just say so. When they first started out, that was a great big selling point for them. I'm going to take this dark green here called Robin Hood. I'm And first I'm going to use some NYX glitter glue, and I'm just going to put that in the center of my lid. BoxyCharm, it's not really their responsibility to investigate how Storybooks Cosmetics is doing their business. They just know that they're a well-known brand that everybody likes. This is beauty. I grabbed it first. That wasn't really my plan. I'm just putting that in the center of my lid. If Storybooks Cosmetics is lying to their customers about where their stuff is made, I'm not sure BoxyCharm would know that or think to ask them, hey, are you still doing this? It's not really their job to police the brands that they are using. I do think this whole thing with these brands being called out, all right, so this is Robin Hood, is a good thing. I don't have a problem with that. I think that Storybooks Cosmetics absolutely deserve to be called out. Wow, that is dark. I expected it to be pretty dark, but on my finger it's a lot greener than it is on my lid. I'm just gonna grab a little more beauty, blend those together right there. If you disagree with that and you think that, BoxyCharm should investigate every brand, okay, but doors aren't. I don't think that's very fair of us to expect them to do that. I think it's much more that we should expect the brands to be honest. I'm going to take Maid Marian, which is this gold right here, bring that into my inner corner. I don't expect the store to do it. Know that it's on the brands to be honest with us. I don't think it's fair to blame BoxyCharm for this. You can't blame BoxyCharm for changing formulas. I know you might want to, but you can't. And I'll tell you why. Whenever a brand makes something and they put it in their packaging and all that, those are considered trade secrets, and it is illegal, super duper illegal. And in fact, BoxyCharm would be open to massive lawsuits from the brands if they did that. I don't think BoxyCharm would open themselves up to that type of liability. And why would they be making this stuff? The other thing I keep hearing is, well, now they have a factory in China, and people are saying that because there's a BoxyCharm palette coming out. BoxyCharm has had palettes come out before. BoxyCharm with Pure did one. They're not making these palettes. The brands are, or they're sending it out to a private label company like Crown to do it. And that brings us into this latest controversy that I think has a lot of people really concerned. Is there's this new brand that did a launch, and they did their launch on BoxyCharm. They didn't even have a website up when the sneak peeks came out. They had apparently said right on the thing they were doing their release through BoxyCharm as a way to sort of get people excited about the brand. The problem was this brand, which has got like a weird name, so I'm not even going to try to say it. This brand is made by a woman who has 5 different companies that we see in subscription boxes all the time. Most of them, having used them in subscription services, I know that I do not like. One of them is Dirty Little Secret. I got that in Ipsy all the time. Another one is Bang Beauty. Also was coming in Ipsy, and I believe BoxyCharm had it as like a filler item. I'm taking the Merryman and just bringing that around the corner. So we've seen this person's brands in subscription services. Like every subscription service I've ever had has had these brands on them. I don't know how they make money, because it seems like all they do is stuff in subscription services. I know I've never actually bought anything from them because I don't care for their products. It begs the question, how is this person making money? Now, I don't know that they are, I don't know that they're not, but they created this new brand, and because it didn't have any information and because it looks exactly like a product that was on either Alibaba or AliExpress or one of those, Wish, maybe, I don't know, there's several places people have claimed it came from. I'm going back into beauty for right now. Since there was no website up at the time, and people were like, wait, we've seen this on these websites, people started saying that BoxyCharm had bought these and like sort of created this fake company, I guess, which is crazy. Why would they do that? They have brands that want to be on BoxyCharm all the time. They're constantly talking to brands and stuff. At Coachella, it was like all about being on BoxyCharm from different brands. Why would BoxyCharm go out and do that? That's crazy. They would ruin their company that they've worked very hard to build. I'm going to take Kiss and sort of bring that in to the inner corner. Well, okay, and out, I guess. That was way more pigmented than I anticipated. Blend that. This is from GG Cosmetics. This was in Ipsy. Well, I can't find the one I was looking for, so I guess I'm going to use Too Faced Chocolate Soleil and a stippling brush. Do a little bit of contouring. Once again, you have BoxyCharm, and they have this item and they're excited about it. They're posting about it on their site. They're like, hey, look what you're getting. And people are like, wait, we've seen that. That is cheap as hell. And what are you trying to do? Punk us? What's going on here? Which I get. I get why people were concerned and confused. So I'm just using the pink blush, especially since this company hadn't even put up a website yet or anything. People were just like, what the hell is going on here? It had me asking enough questions that I emailed that company myself and said, hey, what's going on? I have yet to hear back from them. I doubt that I'm going to. From the things that I've seen online, this lady has become distinctly unpleasant. My thing is, there are hundreds of thousands of us who get BoxyCharm. Way more than BoxyCharm has employees. So I'm using my Tarte Lights powder. Did not come in a subscription service. The powder I have, I hate. Becca, it's that hydrosol one. Oh god, I do not like that. Back to talking about these brands and the crap they're pulling. Because who they're pulling it on isn't really BoxyCharm. It's us. It's the consumers. This brand, in my opinion, is dead before it even got out of the water because of the way they've handled this. What you get when you see this 24 karat moisturizer gold thing that they said retails for like $100, which is insane. But skincare prices, in my opinion, are insane. The retail prices on that stuff is nuts. The amount of money we pay for some of it is crazy considering the small amounts we get and what's actually in it, in my opinion. I know for a fact that a lot of brands that use sweet almond oil as their main ingredient, you can buy sweet almond oil in a big bottle for under $20, the exact same stuff. You don't know about how those oils work. Like third pressing is the best, aren't great because of just the impurities that come out. On the ingredients list, they don't tell you which one you're getting. They just say, you're getting sweet almond oil. But you can actually buy really, really good quality oil off sites that are 100% organic, and you know all about those oils, where they're coming from, and all of that. So when I see these main ingredients being like jojoba oil and all this other stuff, it frustrates me. So I have this from the Real Her. I forgot I grabbed it. I'm just gonna take a little bit of Fearless, put it over the top right there, and then I'm gonna take my Hank and Henry eyeliner. I think this came in BoxyCharm, and I know this came in BoxyCharm or BoxyLuxe. Now I have my Grand Mascara. This came in my BoxyCharm like last month, I think. I don't remember. I'm gonna use some Stila liquid eyeshadow on my inner corner. I'm positive I got one of these shades in my BoxyCharm at one point. You have this brand, and they've put out this product that looks a whole lot like, and very well could be, the same exact formulation as what's being sold on all these super cheap sites. That's terrible, right? Now you have people saying BoxyCharm this is the Tarte's Pro Glow Volume 2. It came in BoxyLuxe. That makes no sense, like I said. People are confused and angry, and I get it. They're like, it's made in China. A lot of stuff's made in China. If you're cutting out everything made in China, you're gonna be having a problem. It's gonna get really expensive. Not that you shouldn't if you can. This is the Alamar Cosmetics lip gloss. I'm gonna just mist my face very gently. This is Truffle Therapy Refreshing Mist. So I'm just gonna use my Smashbox one primerizer that I know I can do this with. This is not a setting spray, it just takes all the, so it looks really nice. How is it that this brand has got this moisturizer that looks and may be an exactly the same one sold on these websites for super cheap? It's because of private labeling. A lot of companies use private labeling, especially when they're just first getting started. And Morphe started out using private labeling. They can't afford their own factory. They can't afford all this stuff. So I could go and I could call a company and I could say, I want 20 eyeshadow palettes and they're going to be called Tina's Makeup and Murder palettes. Then I could name all the shades and I could create the shades and all of that. I would have to pick from their formulations, but I could do that and I can pick my shades. That's how so many companies do this. It is insane. A crazy, huge amount of companies do this. That every one of this lady's companies are just private labeling. That's why she has so many of them. It's not that she has like all these factories or something. She's just calling up a company and is like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna start a company called Bang Beauty. I like the way that sounds and I want it to have different packaging than Dirty Little Secret, so maybe it'll appeal to people who are of a different demographic. It's a cheap way to do that. A lot of inexpensive companies do this. It's nothing new. What is reprehensible and terrible is that this lady is doing this. The quality of the product she's giving you, the markup is about 1,000% for crap ingredients. When you look at the ingredients list on that moisturizer, is it safe to use? Absolutely. You're not going to have more of a reaction to it than you have a chance of having a reaction to pretty much any other moisturizer out there. There is nothing special in those ingredients. Maybe the gold flakes, those are super cheap too. It's such a small amount that it isn't going to do a damn thing for your skin. Dermatologists sometimes, like there's been one 10 years ago who said probably shouldn't do that. That was one dermatologist. Maybe another one will say, yeah, do that. And as a matter of fact, I bet there are, because all of a sudden that 24 karat craze in skincare came about, and I'm positive some dermatologists were offering that service. The ingredients in it are nothing special. It is a basic drugstore moisturizer. It's a gel moisturizer. It's made with glycerite. It does have niacinamides. I love that ingredient. I used to have acne really badly, and that really calmed that down for me. That's one of the few ingredients I saw in it. It does have parabens in it, so if you don't like parabens, you probably shouldn't use it. It's just not worth the price tag she put on it. Now, whose fault is that? Is it hers or is it BoxyCharm's for allowing her to put it and launch it in their box? And again, this comes down to whether or not you think BoxyCharm should be in charge of regulating other people's companies. I don't. I think that it's their job to find me products to put in my box that I'm interested in and will find interesting. That's their job. It isn't their job, in my opinion, for them to go and be like, you cannot put that in our box because, whatever. My opinion, as long as it's safe according to the United States standards, which this moisturizer is, then okay. I suspect that she didn't tell them this is a private labeled, super inexpensive moisturizer that I've just marked up by a lot. Again, a lot of skincare is marked up an insane amount. If you're paying anything over which is like crazy amounts of money in my opinion for skincare, you're paying for the name and the name brand and the prestige and all of that. You're not paying for the ingredients anymore. That's just the way it is. You're paying for the pretty packaging and all that. You're into that and that's what you're looking for, and those brands like make you feel like they work better, go for it. You spend your money however you want. I'm just stating my opinion, and my opinion is not have to be your opinion. This is Sunday right at the title, and I remember looking at the ingredients on the back. They're great ingredients. This I believe retails about 89 bucks. Not 100% positive. I'll put it down there. And the ingredients in this are very nice. But you can find similar ingredients from The Ordinary and things like that for much less money. What you're paying for is the name and the packaging and all of that. Your setting spray like crazy. So I have this matte one that I got in Glow Addict. This is by J.Cat Beauty, and it is the matte makeup setting spray. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. If you disagree with me, that's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm just here to try to sort of give people another perspective from some of these YouTubers who, in my opinion, are sort of going out and pushing a twisted, false, sensationalized viewpoint. The one with the Storybook Cosmetics was pretty easy to prove that this was on Storybook Cosmetics, and what they said in the text messages didn't mean what the person who was reading them made them sound like. And that is the problem with conversations you don't have the entire scope of, and I don't care what you're talking about. Political debates do this all the time. It's They shouldn't be allowed to. It's terrible. I love subscription services. I'm not going to stop using it. I will bash them. Ipsy Ultimate, oh my God. I completely unsubscribed from Ipsy because of that whole disaster, and it hasn't gotten better. What are they doing? Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!